Hi, this is Peter Zapf. Actually, I don't talk in English. I talk in German. Well, this time it is a little bit different because I must talk about a movie critic that is American and talks only in English. Well, I made a little concept about movies. And it is the case I take movies that are actually pretty good, but the public opinion is different. So the public opinion says it's a bad movie. And most time when the public opinion says it's a bad movie, there is at least one critic who takes the movie and tries to pick up every little detail and tries to find loopholes, of course, plot holes, and other things that don't make sense. So I take that critique of this person, and I take his critique, and I try to find every problem he has, and then I solve it. I solve every plot hole he finds, and I explain why this movie is good. And I explain that the movie is good and that the public opinion is completely wrong about it. Last time I did that on German with the anime MD Ghost, a really good movie, really good. I can own. It's a really good movie, and it's a cult, and it's a classic, and I think everybody should see it. If you have a problem with it, go watch my German re-review, and please learn German or take a translator or whatever. It was a lot of work to make it in German, and it is still a lot of work to do this here, and unfortunately I don't make money with this. And I have not really much time to change everything and to do a lot of effort and a lot of more effort and so on. Well, this time I talk about Resident Evil, criticized by a quite famous critic, Failures. By the way, I must tell something before. First, I like Failures, and I love the most critics that part of his connection. I love Nostalgia Critic, I love this Nostalgia Chick, I love the Enemy Abandon, and by the way, if I find the time, I will correct Nostalgia critics too. If I make some mistakes in English, I must apologize. But my English is not perfect. I guess a lot of Americans who try to speak German have the same problem. Well, after I told that I actually love most of Channel Awesome critics, I also tell that there is sometimes they are clearly wrong, and sometimes I must explain why they are wrong. The second thing is I have seen this movie. It's the Resident Evil movie, but I have never played the games. Well, some people might say the movie is not good because it has nothing to do with the game. I disagree. The game may be good, maybe not. I don't know. But I think as a standalone movie, it's pretty good. Of course, I know it has problems. There's one big problem that I must talk about, one real problem that actually almost ruins it. What means almost? It ruins it completely. It's horrible. There's one big problem, and this is the end of the movie. I will talk about that later. But the rest of the movie is quite good and deserves to be defended. Well, what really what really angers me is that failures try to find so many plot holes, so many mistakes, so many things that don't make any sense. But this one real mistake, this one real problem, it does not find. And what I know, there are other critics that try to criticize it. No one of them found the real problem of that. The really, really bad thing that destroys the whole movie. And I try to explain that because nobody found it. That means I will do two things. First, I will explain why most of the movie is good. Not brilliant, I say good. It's good. But I will also explain the ending and why the ending is horrible. Really, really horrible, and ruins actually the whole movie. Thanks. Well, let's look what Failures has to say.
Alpha Team is flying around the movie adaptation zone situated in northwest Raccoon City. We're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
No!
Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a movie trilogy. Victims' hopes for a decent movie adaptation were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to watch the trilogy and disappeared. There are only 3 movies left: Resident Evil, Apocalypse, and Extinction. We don't know where Degeneration is. Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Joseph Frost. Albert Wesker. Resident Bayless.
Well, do I really have to say something about that? Failures tries to satirize the movie by satirizing a sequence of the game that has little to nothing to do with the movie. So, satirizing the movie by satirizing a game sequence that has little to nothing to do with the movie. Because the movie has little to nothing to do with the game, it's funny about the movie to satirizing the game. The game satirizing means to satirizing a movie that has little to nothing to do with the game. Maybe we can take that on a more differentiated level. He satirizes a movie that has little to nothing to do with the game. That maybe he can satirize some other movies too by satirizing a game that has little to nothing to do with the movie. We can take this sequence and satirize maybe the movie The Matrix. Well, I'm sure that one of the guys in The Matrix has a gun and one in the sequence has also a gun. Has little to nothing to do with the movie. The connection is quite as strong as the connection to the movie. They have the name. The movie has the name Resident Evil. The game has the name Resident Evil. Matrix has people with guns. Someone in the sequence has people with guns. When do we want to do it further? Maybe satirizing with exactly the same sequence of Star Wars. I'm sure someone is wearing dark clothes in the sequence, and in Star Wars there is a guy with a mask wearing dark clothes. Or we can satirize the movie Resident Evil by satirizing a sequence of the game that has little to nothing to do. I guess you get the idea.
We start off with some talk about the Umbrella Corporation and how they love the experimentation. But some employee also loves contaminating their laboratories with
The T-Virus!
The computer seems to take its sweet time before actually deciding to close the lab off.
Don't you think where they're working with such biohazardous materials, the labs would be cut off from the rest of the building already?
The lab cast off the building. Nice idea. I'm working on a very important T-virus. I have to pee, I have to shit. Where are the toilets? Cut off of the building. Cut off of the laboratory. Sorry, I think you will not pee and shit. Do it. Fertilize your trousers. What about if I'm hungry? Can I maybe please get out and eat something? No, I think not. You have to eat here. But if I take off the masks, could it be that I am infected, or could the food be infected? I think that's not a good idea. Yes, but failures say that we have to cut off the whole building from the laboratory. Failures say so we must do it. We cannot just make a lot of security measures around the laboratory and make it still sure that it's possible to go out of the laboratory if necessary. After you cleaned up yourself and disinfected yourself and did a lot of other stuff. Failure said so.
What is that? Fire drill.
You'd think there might be quite the difference for the alarm for a fire drill versus virus contamination.
I think they would not know the difference, because I think they would never hear this alarm. Because something like that would have never happened. Okay, they may have practiced maybe, but how much often did they do it? And maybe the last time they practiced it is a long time ago. But I know when failure says that is impossible, then it must be impossible. It cannot be that you forgot how this alarm looks like or sounds like. It cannot be. I mean, if we try to practice for something else and for any kind of emergency, and the emergency happens accidentally, I'm sure everyone absolutely knows 100% what to do.
What's wrong with you?
So the computer starts pulling a bunch of funny pranks like letting elevators fall to their doom. Looks like these guys are next and looks like they have emergency brakes on this one. Guess the people they didn't like as much had to use that other one. And then
We both have some emergency
We're introduced to our main character, Alice, played by Mila Jovovich, naked!
And don't worry, this is hardly the last time she ends up naked. Scream.
You have a problem with a naked scene in a movie. Well, first, we never see her completely naked, and the second, there are so many movies with a little skin in it, movies with even more skin in it. I'm not sure if you will ever be able to watch all movies you want to review if you have problems with that. And I guess you are a critic and make a little money with that. Maybe not all your money, but a little with that. I guess I suggest you try to eliminate your phobia of nakedness. Maybe you can talk to that to your psychiatrist.
Lost her memory, so she wanders around aimlessly until this team from Umbrella shows up. They take her and this other guy who randomly showed up as well down with them into the labs, which is called the Hive, which is right below the house. Michelle Rodriguez does what she does best in this movie and plays a complete bitch.
You got a problem?
Then they find another random guy.
He's fine. Memory loss, just like the other one.
What? What is this?
We all work for the Umbrella Corporation. The mansion above us is an emergency entrance to the Hive. You are security operatives placed there to protect that entrance.
So yeah, there are also Umbrella agents who live a fake marriage in a house to hide a lab.
You think a marriage ring has to be subtle? Do you know any married couples? I guess they all have some rings on their fingers. They are not really so subtle.
Makes perfect sense.
Why can't
I guess you can explain what does not make sense about it. An arranged fake marriage. Why doesn't it make it sense?
I remember anything?
The Hive has its own defense mechanisms, all computer controlled. A nerve gas was released into the house.
I'm failing to see what use releasing that gas was, other than plot convenience, of course. They go right...
What convenience? You want to see the gas? It's just a little gas. And the woman breathes it in. Maybe my English is not good enough. I don't understand the problem.
To the labs without gas masks or anything, which just...
Gas masks? For what? They know the protocol. The protocol probably says we take a little gas on the agent, we bring a little gas to the agents that are in the house or above the hype, so that if anything happens, they don't remember and they don't know and they cannot tell anybody who may make an investigation and find out something that the Umbrella Corporation doesn't want him to find something. And after this happened, the gas vanishes again. So why do they need gas masks?
Boggles my mind as these people have been sent by Umbrella to find out what's happened down here. Since the T-virus is apparently airborne in these movies, Umbrella should have a good idea of that, and this team was sent by Umbrella.
Umbrella should know that the T-virus broke out, but that's all they know. They don't know how far the virus come. They don't know what the Red Queen did. The Red Queen comes a little bit later. They don't know if it is mutating, and if it is mutating, how much progress did it do. They don't know how much progress the scientists did before the virus broke out, because they cannot communicate anymore with them. How many questions do I have to count?
And not only that, they just got finished talking about how the computer could gas them if it feels like it.
This is gonna slow us down.
Yeah, it's probably not a safe idea to walk through that. Oh, never mind. Well, this...
Excuse me, it's just a liquid. A liquid. If you are afraid of every kind of liquid, you come never any far. Why should a trained soldier be afraid of a liquid?
doesn't seem very worried about any contaminants, so I guess they at least trust the computer system, right?
5 hours ago, Red Queen went homicidal. Sealed the hive and killed everyone down here.
The Red Queen is what they call their computer systems, so perfect. Umbrella's the best.
As I know, the Red Queen did a quite good job in the movie. She assumes that the virus does not have to break out, and she does everything to do that. That's the problem.
Hole B. That's what it says on the map.
Maybe you're reading it wrong.
Maybe the corporation's keeping a few secrets down here. Something you're not supposed to see.
So Umbrella would want to mislabel this huge cargo bay dining room to hide it from their own team. Why? Not that...
Why? Well, they are quite down under in the food chain of the hierarchy of Umbrella. Don't you think that someone who is just a little bit over the trash man should not know everything that the CEO knows?
I'd put it past Umbrella in this movie. They seem pretty damn incompetent. They attempt to...
They shall just see what they have to see and get no more information that they need to.
access the control room to shut the Red Queen down when...
What's that?
This girl was put on the team because of her reaction time.
And she didn't see it. They were right before her. She didn't hear it fast enough. That's the problem.
Open the door! We're going into shock. Stay away! It's coming fire!
Not serious time. I don't understand the problem. Explain.
I'm almost there. Come on!
If it could do that, why wouldn't it have done that on the first sweep?
It would have assumed that it doesn't need to do that.
So we've just had about half the team killed by lasers. Isn't that what you think of when you think Resident Evil? Lasers? Remember all the lasers in the games? That doesn't count! What do you guys...
I already said it's the idea that the movie stands for its own, not completely for the game. It's maybe a little inspired by the game, but that's all. Why is that so important? Why doesn't it count? I don't understand. I haven't played the game. Okay, maybe you have a good reason for that, but as I said, it doesn't have to be so much clear to the game, so much close to the game. And even if not everyone you are talking to has played the game, you also have to think about us, people who have only seen a movie and never played the game. I guess the movie is made for us. And by the way, this sequence looks extremely similar to what happened in the game. So explain me why it doesn't count.
You can at least check on the guy who only had his fingers cut off? Guess not.
Get out! Get out! You can't be in here.
Don't listen to anything she says. She's a holographic representation of the Red Queen.
You have to get out.
Modeled after the head programmer's daughter.
Blah, blah, blah. She's the Red Queen. Blah, blah, blah.
You're all
Yeah, she's the Red Queen. Something that has to be explained.
going going to die down here.
You can't kill me!
So with the Queen shut down, it releases all the zombies finally.
JD, we got a survivor!
Rodriguez's character Rain sticks her hand in this person's mouth to see if they're okay. Doesn't turn out too well. Did Umbrella give their team any information on what they were checking on? It's your...
I guess not. Umbrella felt they don't need to know so much. Why should they know so much? They shall find out what happened. Not more. Why do they need to know what happened? Why do they need to know so much to find out what happened? I guess Umbrella has not expected that they put their hand in their mouth. Maybe it hasn't even expected that some of these zombies escaped. Maybe the virus was in a stadium in which the zombies cannot escape before that happened. And Umbrella didn't know what happened after this incident, and was counting on zombies that cannot escape. How can they tell her that she shall not touch something which they don't expect to be there?
Own damn team, Umbrella. You can tell them at the very least people might be infected. Don't let them chew on you. After they kill that zombies, expecting some more lasers to come around the corner, but in an actual twist, there's more zombies in the supposed Resident Evil movie.
I guess that's not funny, but that's also not real. But that's also not something to criticize. Okay, there are more zombies.
Easy that was.
Oh, bad day for that guy. At least he got killed by zombies, though. Then we see these Umbrella soldiers barely have a clue in their heads.
Why didn't we see them on the way in?
When you cut the power, you unlock the doors. You let them out.
Okay, first he's the tech guy. He should have known that. And then we have Rodriguez's character blaming him for it like it wasn't the job they were sent down there to do in the first place.
He should have known that there are zombies that he let out. How? And I guess that also explains exactly why Umbrella didn't give any information. It confirms what I said. Umbrella didn't think that they were in this room. They thought they are still in their cells or something else, where they were imprisoned. I guess the guys from Umbrella didn't even know if they can walk, and they counted on they can't.
Whoa. I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
What? Anyway.
She's an extremely well-trained fighter. Perfectly trained, perfectly educated. She knows the maximum of humanly possible fighting possibilities. She is just a very good fighter. What do you expect? That's what was established. She's chief of the security inside the hype. And for covering, she was in the house at that time. She's a really good fighter. So what's the problem?
Anyway, the other random Matt is actually trying to find his sister, and he has! Yay! Oh, except she's a zombie. Oh no! Matt and his sister are trying to expose what Umbrella's doing, and Alice remembers that she was his sister's contact.
I can help you get the virus. I have access to security codes, surveillance plans.
Well, I'm glad we had this wonder team on the case so that they could stop Umbrella before anything bad happened. Since the Red...
Excuse me, they did not do it before something happened because they caused this happen. I will explain it later. But it doesn't make them really much incompetent.
Queen had earlier said,
You're all going to die down here.
They decide, obviously, she's the best one to help them. Well, maybe...
They decide they have no other option than asking her for help.
Maybe a shutdown restart fixed the problem. It usually does. And if she's bad again, they got a button to send her endless YouTube comments until she fries. The Red Queen explains what zombies are to them. You know, those killy things that aren't lasers. And that she sealed off the lab and killed everyone to prevent further spread of the T-virus infection. So...
a really good plan.
In case of emergency, basically their plan was delete fucking everything! Umbrella must have thought giving the computer a way to contact them in case of such a disaster would have been silly.
It would have been silly. It is still the possibility that Umbrella would make a mistake in this situation and think it can control this problem. And in reality, it just spread the infection out. That's exactly what happened in the next movie. In the next movie, Umbrella tries to find out again what happens in the first minutes of the movie. And by that, accidentally, it frees the virus and it spreads over the city. And then they know they cannot do anything against it, and then they blow it up with a nuclear bomb. And even that doesn't help. So I guess this idea was a really good idea. Just deleting everything and making sure that Umbrella cannot do anything against it. That was a very, very good idea. But Failer says it's not a good idea, so we must assume it isn't.
Tech guy gets stranded with a bunch of zombies and tells the others to... Go! So sad, but...
Oh, he shot a zombie, then crawls out a duct behind him. Why he just didn't do that right away instead of sitting there letting them have this big discussion on whether to leave him or not? I don't know.
Sometimes people are not sure what to do and must think a little bit about it. And sometimes they see the idea that they have to kill themselves and then they change their mind and try to do something else. Really impossible? Really impossible?
Some worried that character made some kind of noble sacrifice or something. Thank fuck that didn't happen.
Alice
would you?
Remembers there's an antivirus, but her fake husband remembers he was the one who stole the virus and infected the lab at the start of the movie.
Thank you! Because this amnesia gas Umbrella sprayed them with makes your memory return when it's most convenient to the plot. Unfortunately, no one can really remember why there's the Alice in Wonderland references in this movie because, well, those were only really pertinent in an earlier version of the script.
I don't know what we had, but it's over.
So fuck off.
Okay, at the start of this clip, I said there's a really mistake in that. And there's something that ruins the entire movie. And Failures didn't see it, and every other critic didn't see it. And this ruins everything. Absolutely everything. And we are exactly at this point. Exactly at this point. What Phelan even doesn't show in the movie is the whole scene. I know he cannot show the whole scene most time. If he would show the whole movie. That is not possible. That would break the laws of the law of fair use, and that would break the system of a critic. But I guess in this time, in this situation, it would be very, very, very necessary to show the whole thing. He should have made this exception. We see in this situation, I guess I must explain the whole scene and what is explained in this scene and what Phelan doesn't explain. We see in that scene that this guy, this fake husband, should actually be the hero in the movie. At least he should not be the bad guy. He should not be the bad guy. He should be the hero. He actually is the hero. Look, what do we see in the movie? First we see that this Alice talks with the sister of this guy that wants to stop Umbrella and tells her she will send her the virus, and so the proof that Umbrella does illegal things and the possibility to destroy Umbrella with that. And this fake husband is not really a fake husband, but he, of course, unofficially he is a fake husband, but he's really in love with Alice, and Alice is really in love with him. They have a real relationship. And this man sees Alice talking to that woman and even hears them. Or at least he can assume what they are talking about. And he knows one thing. Whatever Alice does, it cannot work. Umbrella is too powerful. If Alice can smuggle out this virus or any other proof or whatever and give it to the girl, and she tries to use it as a proof that Umbrella does something really illegal and must be stopped, then Umbrella has a huge amount, has an army of lawyers that sue that woman, and they make her broke. That's a very easy way in America and in many other countries. If you are wrong but have a lot of money, you sue a person for a made-up cause, and it doesn't matter if you win the suit. If you win the case, it's just important that that other person loses her money to defend himself or herself in court. Defending needs money. And at the end, this person is broke and you have won. This is one way. And if Umbrella doesn't do that, there are other ways. Umbrella can bribe and does bribe a lot of politicians, can bribe or does bribe a lot of policemen. And if they don't let them not bribe, then Umbrella can support a competitor of them or make them fired or whatever. And Umbrella has also a lot of power over the media. Either it owns the media or it gives the media a lot of help. Bribery by another way. For example, showing some advertisement of Umbrella in the television stations or on channels, and showing a lot of advertisement in newspapers and telling them, if you don't tell the people what we want you to tell, especially about these people that stole these proofs, then we will not give you money for advertising anymore. Umbrella is too powerful. You cannot defeat Umbrella. And this is even confirmed in the second movie. In the second movie, it's exactly what happens. This Alice finds a journalist and tells her the story of what happened and what Umbrella is doing. And Umbrella is already doing more than this. Umbrella is already nuking a whole city and killing millions of people. And what happens? It is published, And then the media say it's just a lie. Shall people think that it's not a normal disaster of a nuclear station? And the people who published it are terrorists. People who killed nobody, never blow them up with any dynamite, are terrorists. And then they are hunted and arrested, and that is exactly what happens. And this is exactly what this fake husband sees previews, what he predicts, and he sees he cannot stop them. He cannot stop his fake wife, whom she loves, and he cannot stop that woman that wants to publish it. He cannot. The first way to stop them would be to tell it to the authorities. Well, then he would be safe. But I guess they would. The best thing that would happen to his fake wife would be that she was fired. But that's very improbable because she knows too much. It's more probable that she was fired and killed. The other way is stealing the virus and selling it. Running away from Umbrella, selling it to someone else who is ready to pay billions and billions and billions and billion and billion and billion, and run away together with his fake wife, Alice. That means he has the noblest ideals that you can have. He had noble causes. What he wanted was not just money. He wanted to save her. He wanted to save himself, and he wanted to save his fake wife, who he really loves. This guy is not a bad guy. This guy is not a villain. This guy is a hero. This guy should be a hero. This guy should be the real hero. And to be honest, I think it is not fair what happens with him in the end of the movie. First he's killed, then he comes back as a zombie, and then he's killed again. And then we never see him anymore, not even in another movie. Never. But we see, I guess this guy should come back and as a zombie or a super zombie and at least tell Alice what she did and what she all did wrong. He should come back in the third movie and tell Alice, well, Alice, I just tried to help you. I just told you it is impossible to stop Umbrella, at least not with publishing proofs that Umbrella kills people and does illegal things and illegal stuff and endangers people. You did it, am I right? You published a lot of things. And did it work? Did it work, Alice? Did it work? Look at me, I'm a zombie because of you. A super zombie because of you. Just because you said, no, I will not go with you. No, I will not help you. No, I will not sell this. And I think he should kill her for that. I think this is what she deserves. He's the best husband she will ever find. And what does she? She kills him at the end of the movie, and she lets him die.
That son of a bitch is gonna get away with this.
I don't think so. I've been a bad, bad girl.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Resident Evil.
Who's that character? It's Wesker!
Wesker! Umbrella?
No, it's not Wesker. I haven't played the games, but even I know that Wesker is even in the games as the bad guy. This guy is completely not Wesker. He doesn't deserve to be treated like Wesker, and he doesn't deserve to be killed. Period.
Now that it has fed on fresh DNA, it will mutate. Becoming a stronger, faster hunter.
I find it kinda odd for them to refer to the liquor as a hunter when there's a creature in Resident Evil called a hunter.
The Queen won't let them go until they kill Rodriguez as she's been bitten, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense since the T-virus is airborne in this movie, hence the reason the Queen killed everyone in the lab already, so Alice and friend aren't any safer.
The bitch wouldn't open the door. So I had to fry her.
Wait, so he had kept the remote to fry the Queen with him even though he had contemplated suicide back there?
Wouldn't you think throwing that over to them might have been an idea? Whatever.
So they inject Rodriguez with the antivirus, but the mutant liquor attacks, infecting Matt. Oh, the antivirus didn't work.
Oh well, at least it's the medium good ending for Alice and Matt. Well, except for that Matt being infected thing. Quick, Alice, get him some of that extremely effective antivirus! Wait, you guys, don't interfere. She's gotta save him.
He's mutating. I want him in the Nemesis program. Let's see if she's infected. We're reopening the hive. I want to know what went on down there.
Well, if you'd better equipped your team you just sent down, or had the computer so it'd send you such information, you'd already know that. Anyway.
As I thought it was safer not to encrypt them better and not to make a connection with them.
The perfect book ending happens when Alice wakes up naked. Told you it wouldn't be the last time, and don't worry, it's not exclusive to the first movie.
She escapes and finds the city in ruins, and oh, how nice! A reference to Romero's Day of the Dead, the guy who was going to write this movie until you said his script wasn't good enough.
This movie isn't that bad. It had its own separate story, like the Silent Hill movie should have. And while I would have liked to seen a well-done movie about the Arkley Mansion incident, considering the way the sequels turned out, they're definitely better off this way. That said, we really haven't hit terrible with these movies till we get into the second one, where they decide to introduce Jill. Jill Sandwich.
Questions are answered. Well, I guess I proved that the movie is quite good. It has nice action scenes. The story makes sense. The story is quite good. It has a nice twist. But the problem, there's one big problem. It's this guy. It's the guy who should be the hero of the movie. Excuse me, what this Alice did was stupid. It was stupid to help these environmentalists. It was stupid to talk to them. It was completely stupid. It was absolutely stupid. She should have known that. She should know that this is not, that what they have in mind is not possible. She is not a beginner, she is a professional. She should know that. And this guy wanted to save her. He wanted to save her. And I guess he even wanted to make sure that her dream of a virus-free world would come true. I mean, what do you think what would have happened if he would have sold it? Someone would have sent it free, of course, but the people would find out about that. And they would find a solution of that, and then later they would find out that Umbrella had this plan. And then maybe Umbrella would have been destroyed. This is the only way to do it. Unfortunately, it just works that way. Firemen only come when the house is burning. They don't come when someone plays with fire. They only come when the house is already burning. There's no better way. That means the real hero is made the bad guy. And that is not okay. That's horrible. That's bad. That makes the whole movie bad. That ruins everything. And failures didn't see it. The other critics didn't see it. Well, I will tell maybe a lot more about the other movies too, because most of them are quite good. Well, until then, goodbye.